Party people in the place to be. What's going on? It's me. If it's Sunday, it must be time for another long overdue movie review. I'm a bit perturbed on this one, and I gotta tell you, I gotta make sure that I don't let that skew my rating this week in any way. I had to watch this twice because HBO Max sucks. Now they updated it, and it sucks now. It's unplayable. If you try to rewind it even 5 seconds, you just broke the entire system. I just finished playing it. It's still going right now for no reason whatsoever because HBO Max sucks. However, that's not what we're here to talk about. That'll be my FU of the week in an upcoming How Do We Even Get Here episode, which you can find in the links down below. Rather, we're here to talk about Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This one is still keeping fairly on pace with the recent ones that we reviewed, where I said that they have places to go and a little bit of space to get to that near perfect movie level quality. I will tell you once again, they were not at 15 out of 15 by any stretch, but it's still it's still doable here. The special effects overall haven't improved. Like for the most part, they seem to hide the issues with the special effects better. For the most part, there are a couple of spots where it's glaringly apparent, and it's almost like, why didn't you do something else? Why continue with this terrible special effects issue? The acting, is still the acting. The story is relatively good. There's some holes once we get towards the end, but it introduces new characters that you instantly kind of start to like. We still interact with the characters that we know and that we like, and that's always a good thing. All right, that's not spoiler section. Let's get to the spoiler section here in a second as I take my sip before we dip into the spoiler territory. That's good brisk, baby. We start the movie off with the cousins, the family, the Muggle family still being ridiculously stupid and mean to Harry. Once again, I reiterate, if you know he's a wizard and you know he's about to be able, he technically can. He can technically kill you whenever he wants to, or make your lives miserable whenever he wants to, right? He's not supposed to until he's 18. Okay, fine. He's not that far off, right? So, he's coming towards 18. Why not? And when he becomes 18, he could benefit your life if he chooses to. And yet they still pour money down the hole of being mean to Harry for no reason, for the reason that they think that the sister is mad that his mother was proud of being a wizard. Okay, fine. Stop being mean to him, though. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. It's so the aspect of this is so stupid. In any one of the former fairy tales or stories or TV shows or movies that we saw, once the main star reaches their apex or we realize that the main star, has these powers or abilities or charm or is rich or whatever their arc is, then the meanies are supposed to stop being mean, because then they're going to suck up to him, and then it's up to the good guy to either be like, yeah, okay, or ha, you were mean to me, I'm gonna ignore you now. But you make the turn. You still make the turn. You still do the Weasley heel thing of you're in the ring with Hulk. If you're Bobby the Brain Heenan, you were beating up Hulk Hogan, but now you're in the ring with Hulk Hogan, and he's hulking up, and you're all alone, and there's nowhere for you to go. So you don't go in there like, I'm going to get him. You're like, oh, please, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sorry. Here's my hand. Shake my hand. I'm sorry. Hey, no, you're the best. You're the greatest. I'm so sorry. I apologize. You're the best. You're the best. Start kissing some ass. What are you doing? So stupid. Anyway, they're attacked by Dementors. Harry's seemingly expelled for saving his cousin because he expects Patronus to get rid of the Dementors. However, Dumbledore sent a spy down one of his neighbors to make sure that Harry's okay. and he's gone to the Board of Wizardry to examine it, re-examine it, and so he goes there. He makes a compelling case for Harry, and Harry's not expelled. But then Dumbledore then turns his back on, and when Harry's like, "Professor," Dumbledore turns away from him. Right upon second viewing, because I had to view this a second time, because again, HBO Max sucks. You can tell that that's what Dumbledore is doing. You can tell that he's now that I know, because I had to pause it after Dumbledore said I had to turn my back to you or whatever, and I tried to rewind it, and it just didn't work. So I had to watch it again to make sure I got it again. And yeah, okay, I totally 100% get that part now. There's one of the sub-ministers, Umbridge, who voted for Harry to be expelled. Then she's a professor at the school. Obvious troll, obvious issue, obvious evil person is obvious. They're very obvious. She's very obvious at what she's there to do. She's there to be the thorn in Harry's and the Hogwarts' side the entire time. She gets over the school, basically destroys it, fires Emma Thompson. I said the effects are way better, and up to this point, they are way better, and or hide it way better. Harry, at this point, Harry tries to get a coalition together of young wizards to help try to fight, to do defensive maneuvers against Voldemort, because nobody in the Ministry believes that Voldemort is back, or at least the higher powers don't believe that Voldemort is back. And the new headmistress, after she takes over from Dumbledore, she's like, there is no Voldemort, there is no Voldemort, there is no Voldemort. And she ends all the defensive magic classes, so Harry has to get himself a little allegiance, a rebel squad, all on his own. While he's doing that, before they get together, he admits that he had help. He admits that he didn't do it on his own. He admits that at every step of the way, somebody had to come and save him. Self-awareness, a movie that's self-aware. That's quite novel and quite interesting. I like that. Hermione says that Cho couldn't take her eyes off of Harry, and the Weasley girl is jealous at that. The young love, the young heartstrings, the young admirations. You're starting to see it. We were all there. We were all there. We all played that game. Some better than others, some worse than others. I still don't know how to play that game properly. Don't judge me. Actually, you know what? Judge me. I don't care. This is the only thing that can save me now. Harry trains the other students. Umbridge develops her own junior enforcer squad, which includes the janitor. I don't remember the janitor being that evil. I remember being curmudgeonly in the other ones. I don't remember him being like straight up evil and hating Harry. Like, did I miss something? Do I have to go back and rewatch the other ones again for 18 hours at a stretch? Because I don't remember the janitor being that. Like, I remember it being kind of mean, but at this point, I'm like, oh, she's obviously working for Voldemort. And maybe somewhere down the line, we'll see her come back and actually be like an interloper for Voldemort or whatever. But another thing that's going on is Harry is having these visions, these different aspects. These he thinks they're dreams, but they're really premonitions. And it's not even really premonitions. It's really, he's mind melded with Voldemort. So he's seeing Voldemort do these things. And it really starts at the train station. He sees Voldemort standing at the train station, and Voldemort looks at him. Looking back on it, Voldemort clearly already knows that he's mind melded with Harry. Now, maybe he can't take full advantage of Harry's mind yet. Maybe he still needs to strengthen himself up because still getting used to the new body and the powers, etc., etc. And Harry's so strong. But I'm guessing it's from the blood thing that happened in the last movie that they're now mind melded together. That was fairly obvious. One thing I didn't like was that there was a scene transition through like the snow or whatever, and then we see Voldemort's face in the middle of it for no reason. That could have gone. That was there for nothing. Harry has another dream. This time he's seeing from the Voldemort perspective attacking Ron Weasley's dad, Father Weasley. And he wakes up and there's a big scene and all the Weasley kids get together and they were getting everything together and they save Papa Weasley. They save Papa Weasley from this premonition. Dumbledore again is ignoring Harry, and Harry's like, "Look at me! Look at me! No, Acknowledge me. Acknowledge me. Not quite that cool because he's Harry Potter after all, but he's still doing, and he's not our tribal chief. All hail our tribal chief, peace be upon him. But yeah, he saves. He does that. He meets back up with his godfather early on in the movie after they the Order of the Phoenix gets him together, and the godfather intersperses in and out of this thing. So you're starting to really build that connection between the two of them, and that's a good thing too. At some point, the new headmistress, she implements all these different stringent rules about attire. Ties have to be super tightened up. No interloping between the students. All students have to, male and female students have to be 8 inches apart, which, still ain't completely gonna stop nothing from happening, because actually, would it be inches? Because they're British. Would it be inches? Would it not inches? Would it not be millimeters, centimeters, or something? Would it not be some on the metric system? That's I think they Americanized that up for us dumb Americans. You're still on the stupid inches system. Hagrid's half brother is terrible CGI. They did not improve. He's the worst. He's the worst CGI in the movie. The absolute worst CGI in the movie, and 100% helps keep this movie from 15 out of 15. 100%. Centaurs too. They did not improve the Centaurs at all whatsoever. They just fucking ignored it. They just ignored it. They just ignored it. And it's like, again, we've had better CGI. And the thing about Hagrid's half brother, the giant dude, is why couldn't they just do the same technology, the same like forced perspective stuff with Hagrid that for Groppy that they did with Hagrid? Like, why couldn't they have just another giant dude or or a regular sized dude and then force perspective it, do some camera tricks with it? Why couldn't they do that? Why does it have to be a bad CGI? Like, that's terrible. Put some makeup on him, right, and have him be out. Why does it have to be such terrible CGI? It doesn't have to be. Like, there are other alternatives. Are they cheaping out? This movie made billions and 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 billions of dollars. Spend the freaking money. At this point, it's a proven commodity. Spend the freaking money. Anyway, I had a thought about how the British government deals with magic, and then I looked it up, and yeah, they tell the Muggle government about magic, but only as much as they need to know. But only the Muggle government needs to know about it. That's interesting. So they trot off the centaurs. So Harry and Hermione and Ron trick the new headmistress into going outside. So her secret squad of people is also, they're torturing the kids too. So like they're having them write standards and then like etching it on their hands and like giving them truth serum and stuff. That's how they find out about the secret society in the first place. They give Harry's little girlfriend Cho some truth serum, and she has no choice but to rat them out. But none of them know that, which is weird because if she's giving the truth serum to everybody, wouldn't that knowledge get around like to the students? Because like they were giving the truth serum to everybody. So wouldn't somebody else be like, yeah, they gave the truth serum to me too. Yeah, they gave the truth serum to me too. I wonder if they gave the truth serum to everybody. Wouldn't they eventually figure that out instead of just icing Cho completely out the entire time? Like, okay, ice her out like maybe the first day or two. But at that point, somebody's going to talk to somebody and find some shit out. Like they're up in their dorm. Somebody's going to talk to somebody and say some shit about something. Like, other than just icing people out, they're going to say, like, oh, yeah, they used truth serum on me. Oh, yeah, the truth serum on me. Oh, yeah, the truth serum on me. Yeah, that's why I talk, because they used the truth serum on me. Like, the whole, like, what? I'm confused there. Plot holes, plot holes, plot holes. And that's part of the problem here, is that there are a couple of plot holes in this movie as well. And we'll get to those a little bit further. While they're training, a lot of them are using the Stupefy spell, and I didn't know that Disturbed sponsored this movie. So shouts out to you. Who knew? Harry Potter was so into fucking hard rock in the late 90s. I get stupefied, it's all the same, you say, even I don't get it. I can sing the whole thing. I know that whole album by heart. I really do. That shit was one of the best albums in '99. But I digress. So yada yada yada. Whole thing's about a prophecy that's held in this crystal ball in this warehouse in the Magic Auditorium somewhere, right? So all the kids go there, and then Malfoy's daddy shows up there too with Helena Bonham Carter, because of course they got Helena Bonham Carter. There's gray everywhere, and it's British. You have it's an edict. It's law. If you're gonna have like a gothy, spooky movie, you have to have Helena. I'm surprised she hasn't been in all of them. To be fair, like they got Emma Thompson. Maybe the directors, just got some Brit somewhere and was like, oh yeah, they're all the same. And then they're like, oh wait, no, this is the one we have to get. We have to get her. So they got Helena Bonham Carter because that's the law. You have to get her when you're doing spooky shit in Britain. And she's in it, and okay, fine, whatever. But she shows up with Malfoy's daddy as they try to get the prophecy away from Harry. Only the person who the prophecy is about can pick up the prophecy. Harry already picked up the prophecy when Malfoy's daddy showed up. Why didn't he just take it from him? Why do we do the big chase scene and shit? Why didn't he just take it from him? He's an adult. He knows more magic, allegedly, than Harry. He forces him to take it anyway, or to give it to him anyway when, he holds all his friends hostage. Why didn't he just take it from him? Why didn't he just grab it? Why didn't he just force him to do it? Like, yeah, Harry's a relatively adult looking 14-year-old in this movie. But he's a grown-ass adult with super adult magic evil powers with another super adult evil magic person there. And they're all surrounded by super evil adult magic people. Just take the shit from him. Why? Just smack him and take it. What do you... Ha-ha! Just take it. Anyway, so big battle ensues. They start fighting their way all the way back into the lobby of the magic building. He holds Harry's friends hostage. Harry gives him the prophecy anyway, and then Godfather comes in with the rest of the Order of the Phoenix, and they fight off all the other evildoers while the kids cower in the corner. It's like, I also thought this. They have wands. They have magic abilities. We've seen them with the magic. Did all their wands get tossed away and I just didn't see it? Like, or something? Like, maybe that's it. Maybe all their wands got tossed away and I just didn't see it. So they couldn't fight them too. Okay, fine. So yada yada, Order of the Phoenix saves the day. Harry's or tries to save the day. Helena Bonham Carter, who's related to the Godfather, smites the Godfather apparently into another dimension. Looks like he kills him, but seems to be going through a portal. I don't know what that portal means. I don't know if we'll see the Godfather later on. We possibly will. It's wizardry after all. But shoots him through the thing. Harry's mad. He's big, anguishing scream, and I lost my Godfather, my last family member. No! Then he chases Helena Bonham Carter with his wand, smites her down, smites her away, and he's about to kill her. And then Voldemort comes in. Do it, Harry. Do it, Harry. And he's like, I'm not going to do it. And then he turns to smite Voldemort. Voldemort swipes the wand away. In comes Dumbledore to save the day. They have a big wand battle. It seems Dumbledore is about equal to Voldemort at this point, power-wise, right? Until Voldemort comes back and possesses Harry. You couldn't beat me, old man. And then Harry fights him off. It's not how you're alike, it's how you're different, Harry. It's how you're different, Harry. And then Harry's like, I pity you, Voldemort. You don't have friends in love. Wins the day. And he smites Voldemort away, at least momentarily, while Helena Bonham Carter escapes through a fireplace teleportation device. And everybody's back together, and except for Godfather, he's presumed dead. And at the end, Harry's like, hey, we do have something worth fighting for. He doesn't say each other, but he means each other. And he meets somewhere along the way, he meets these new characters that they all develop, and it's all hunky dory, etc., etc. Love wins the day is the big theme of this one. There are a couple plot holes. Like, again, Voldemort needed the prophecy, but the prophecy was also kind of about Voldemort, but apparently he couldn't get it. So they needed Harry to get it. Harry got it. Why couldn't, they didn't necessarily explain why he needed to hand it to Malfoy's daddy to have it suffice. We still don't really know if Malfoy even knows that his daddy is evil like that. I know he's elitist, but we still don't. There's nothing really about his daddy. Like he knows his daddy is evil. Um, just a couple things like that, and the special effects. Not a big fan. And at the end, Dumbledore talks about how he kept himself from Harry to keep to hopefully maybe Voldemort wouldn't be his tip. Why? What the hell does Dumbledore not talking to Harry all semester have to do with Voldemort not being Voldemort's already in the boy's head, and you already knew that he was already in the boy's head, and he already wants to kill the boy. Like, what are you talking? And he's wanted to kill the boy for the last, I don't know, 87 movies? What are you talking about? If I separate from you, maybe he wouldn't. What? Stuff like that. Stuff like that. Like, it just makes me, I don't know. Stuff like that brings this movie down a little bit. That and the fact that we just refuse. We just outright refuse to make a movie without shitty special effects. Like, like they cleaned up a lot of them, but then they still have terrible ones in there as well. Like it's still awful ones in there too. So, some loose ends plot wise, the couple of special effects. This ain't 15 out of 15. This ain't 13.50 out of 15 either. I think we're shooting it back down to $12.75 out of $15. It's not, the special effects weren't as atrocious as the first one. And again, we've got some establishment already, and we do have some growth in there too. So it is better than like 12 or 12.50. I think, what was the first one I get? What did I give the first one? Did I give it 12.50? Something like that? 13? I don't know. 12.75 seems about right. Like, it's not as good as the last two that we saw. And as a matter of fact, the fact that it's such a step down with some of the plot hole stuff and the special effects is what brings it down. Also, with Umbridge, I've noticed that Harry Potter fans apparently never got the message of this movie about authoritarianism, about doing wrong for the sake of quote unquote rights that you think is right, about prim and proper, about normalcy, about going back to normal, about any of that shit. Like, you're not applying that to any real aspect of your life, right? And I get it. It's just a movie, quote unquote, but also, a lot of our zeitgeist is developed through art like this. Like, we learn lessons through some of this shit too, right? Particularly when it's not heavy-handed. This one isn't heavy-handed, I guess, if you're a kid. But as you grow up, you should be able to piece some of this shit together about propaganda, about how the shit that you see in the newspaper may not necessarily be, or in the news media, may be false, about how your government may be lying to you. Like Harry Potter fans don't seem to make this fucking connection in their real life. Why not? It's pretty apparent. And when anybody tries to bring it up, you guys act more like the Umbridge character than the Harry character when you're faced with the fucking truth. We're not gonna talk politics. But get your game up, Harry Potter fans. Like, seriously. Yeah, 12.75. I feel out of this one. I feel like it was down in terms of quality from the other ones. I would like to see what they do with these newer characters in the next couple of movies. I would like there to, at this point, what is this movie? We're getting closer to the end than we are at the beginning. At this point, we don't need another Voldemort fight so soon. Again, we're back to that place where I need to see a different villain than Voldemort. Probably the Helena Bonham Carter character. I need to see a different villain than Voldemort at the end. You can bring him up. You can mention him. He's the champ, right? And Harry's inching his way up to contendership. He's got to face the champion at some point. He's Stone Cold. He's got to face The Rock at some point. But I need to see a different opponent for Harry at this next pay-per-view. I need to see a different one. And we need to spend more time maybe developing other characters as well. And fix, the CGI. Bloody hell. Either hide it better, like you've done for the majority of the movie. That's the other part. That's the other infuriating part. The majority of the movie, the special effects were fine and or good. And then we get to the woods and they're terrible. Yeah, 12.75. 12.75. Plus, especially for the effort of having to watch this shit on HBO Max. $12.75. Party people. I'm correct. You know I'm correct. Tell me how correct I am down there in the comments section. I need you to share. I need you to like. You can subscribe too, but share and like. I also have a podcast with my homeboy Trey. We do it every Thursday. It's called the How Do We Even Get Here podcast. You can find it on all your favorite podcasting devices, as well as here on YouTube. All the links are down there in the description. You should go down there and check us out. We're the dopest podcast that you're not listening to. You should listen to it. We want that Joe Rogan money. And in the meantime, the in-between time, cheers.
I'm a nice guy, I'm a nice place, with a nice smile on my nice face. Turn your back and I'm making sure my night's straight. And when you're out of town, I'll be making sure your wife's straight.